Hello friends. In this video, I'm going to discuss how to overcome the physical symptoms of anxiety using my special approach to meditation. As you might know, anxiety isn't just in your mind, it's in your body too. It's that burning tension in your chest, your racing pulse, that feeling of electricity that can seem to run through your veins. It can all make anxiety feel inescapable, but meditation can offer profound relief when you practice it correctly. As a meditation teacher and as someone who has battled with anxiety, I've learned that healing comes not from a generic one-size-fits-all approach to meditation. Rather, if you want to heal, you have to create personalized practices tailored to your unique symptoms. So in this video, I'm going to share my personal journey with anxiety and how meditation transformed it. You'll also discover practical techniques that you can use to target the exact symptoms of anxiety that you as an individual are suffering from. If that sounds good, remember to subscribe and let's begin. Let me start by sharing one of the worst moments of anxiety in my life. I can remember the day that I immigrated from England to Canada as though it were yesterday. It was a time of overwhelming anxiety. My head and my chest were pounding. I had that electricity flowing through my veins, and I also got this awkward sensation in my pelvic region that made me feel like I needed to pee every 3 seconds. Oh, and my eyes would dart around all over the place as though they were seeking something that might soothe me. But then I remembered that I had the ability to take control thanks to my meditation practice. I had first turned to meditation when I was about 18, when my acting teacher recommended it to me. At that time, my anxiety was absolutely terrible, and it was also causing me to have asthma attacks, and it made my stage performances hard, to say the least. So my teacher recommended meditation as a solution. I started with mindful breathing, and I also did a bit of body scan, and I noticed how it seemed to soften and relax my body. It felt as though a calming energy were wrapping itself around me, offering a relief that I had thought would be impossible. So, as I mentioned, anxiety manifests physically in unique ways for unique people. Perhaps you get the burning sensation in your muscles. Perhaps you get facial tension. Perhaps you get that really unwanted sensation in your pelvic region. You experience your symptoms of anxiety. And that's why you need to first start by understanding what your anxiety is. So when I work with clients in my online meditation lessons on thedailymeditation.com, I ask them to describe in detail their physical sensations that their anxiety makes them feel. That alone shifts their perspective. So instead of saying, well, I have anxiety, they'll say, oh, well, actually, it's a tension in my chest with this feeling of electricity in my veins, just for example. So it starts to make their anxiety something that isn't broad-term anxiety, but something that is specific, concrete, and manageable. I'll give you a couple of examples. So one of my students who has given me permission to share her story is Jan. Jan struggled with a tightness in her chest that often triggered panic attacks. So during our sessions, I led her through a body scan, but centered just on her chest, and also mindful breathing to help her to breathe and to not be reactive to those sensations in her chest. So directly using meditation to target her anxiety. Then there's Maxwell, who also has given me permission to share his story. So when Maxwell, who had lost his job, when he was going through anxiety, he would get really bad tension in his face, to the point that it caused him to clench his jaw, and it was actually making, it was damaging his teeth from all the clenching. So for him, we did facial relaxation exercises. Now, the reason that I mentioned that is because you want to start by identifying what your anxiety is. Don't call it anxiety. Say it's this tension in my face, even describe what the tension feels like. Then create a meditation practice that specifically tailors that. Now, when you're meditating on those physical symptoms of anxiety, the key to healing is to step outside of the sensations and to learn to observe them without reacting to them. Give you an example. I have tinnitus, which I believe in North America we pronounce tinnitus. It's this constant high ringing in my ears. It's like somebody screaming at me all day. So if I didn't meditate, that would have a massive effect on my mental health. In fact, there's terrible stories about what has happened to people who have had really bad tinnitus that has affected their mind. But through my meditation, I've learned to not allow my mind to sink into that sensation, but to pull my awareness outside of that sensation, outside of that sound. So I can just say, oh, there's just this sensation, there's just this sound going on over here. I don't need to be bothered by it. So it's about learning to be non-reactive to those physical sensations that you experience from your anxiety. Now, as I mentioned, you want to approach that uniquely based on your unique symptoms, but there are a few different techniques that I have found that both for myself and for my clients have been almost universally helpful. So let me tell you what those are. First of all, body scan meditation. So as you might already know, and I have a guided meditation of body scan on my YouTube channel, in body scan, you literally scan your body from your head to your toe, observing the sensations going on in your body without judgment and without resistance. Often we resist uncomfortable feelings, but that only amplifies them. In body scan, you learn to just calmly observe them without reacting to them. And as I mentioned with Jan, you can also isolate that to a specific part of your body that you might be having problems with. Very closely related to body scan is somatic meditation. So in body scan, it's like a surface level awareness of the sensations in your body. In somatic, you go inside and you become aware of your organs and the sensations there and your inner energy. So it's kind of like a deeper version of body scan. So with somatic meditation, you learn to be aware and non-reactive to those deeper internal signals and feelings. And the final technique that I want to mention is Tai Chi, which I've had an on and off affair with throughout my life. So Tai Chi is just really, really brilliant at making you grounded, at enhancing the mind-body connection, and creating what in Taoism is called Wu Wei, which is effortlessly living with the natural order of life. So those three techniques, body scan, somatic, and Tai Chi, are all going to help you to be less bothered by the physical sensations of anxiety. Now, what I really want to hit home here is that I would love it if you could go a bit deeper in your meditation practice. So many people just do mindful breathing, or they just use apps and blah, blah, blah. And there's this idea that it's one size fits all, like, oh, mindful breathing cures everything. You're going to get so much more out of your meditation practice if you're more specific. So what I recommend that you do is write down, instead of saying, I have anxiety, right? I have anxiety. Instead of saying that, write down the exact symptoms of your anxiety. Write down exactly, when you say I have anxiety, and when you say, like, I'm having a moment of anxiety, what precisely is happening? What sensations are there going on in your body? Then, once you've got those written down, choose meditation techniques that are very specifically going to target those symptoms that you're experiencing. So it's about recognizing that your anxiety is yours and it's unique to you, And so therefore, here is your meditation technique that target your symptoms of anxiety. This is all something that you can totally do for free for yourself, by the way. On thedailymeditation.com, I have in-depth guides to all the meditation techniques and their unique benefits. And on my YouTube, Zen Pauly, I have guided meditation versions of almost all the traditional forms of meditation. So using those, you can definitely do this for yourself. However, if you would like a little bit of assistance, and certainly you will get better results this way, then please do join me for private meditation lessons on thedailymeditation.com. Together, we'll go through what your anxiety is. You'll change the way that you perceive your anxiety. So it's not this broad-term anxiety, which is a medical thing that you just need, it's quite disempowering to think, well, this is anxiety, so the doctor has to deal with that, right? So you go from that to saying, well, okay, I have anxiety, but this is exactly what's happening in my anxiety. And therefore, because I know that these are the sensations and the symptoms that are my anxiety, I can then create a meditation practice to target that. So again, for my help on that, join me for private lessons on thedailymeditation.com. I hope you found this insightful and helpful, and I really wish you all the best in your healing journey. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.